So we're back from Sicily, guys. It was amazing. Now I'm going to next one we're looking at is Spain, beginning of September, in just north of Barcelona. It's a little different. Instead of a 4-star hotel, it's going to be bungalows with a couple guys sharing a bungalow. And but everything's included: food, lodging, jiu-jitsu. It's going to be Karel Verhoeven, Renzo Gracie black belt from Holland, Kenny Kim, very well known, and on the mat, and myself. So hopefully I'll see you there if I didn't see you in Sicily. So guys, we got a bunch of questions. So as you know, the format, always start asking. But let's go first question. First question was, I thought this was a joke, by the way. But I confirmed this is not a joke. So somehow, a guy was doing baseball bat choke on the guy's jaw and broke his own forearm. When something hurts so much, when you're about to submit somebody or think you're going to submit somebody, unless it's in competition, you may want to move on. You may want to move on to the next thing. I still cannot fathom how the hell did the guy break his own arm. That is your own doing. Okay, so first of all, baseball bat choke doesn't work on the face. Yeah, it's going to hurt like a bitch, but if you got a tough guy, they're not going to tap. So you need to be on the neck, okay? So I actually like the baseball bat variation. Even with the gi, I still will do the no-gi variation because a lot of times, you know, the gi may be exposed so you can get in on one side, and then turns out that, you know, there was a clump of his gi caught, so you're not getting it tight. So I still will go this way. So the way to do it is a lot of times I set it up top side control. So I bring my hand to the other side, a lot of times across the belly. This is not going to control him, but it starts to set it up. My hand is already under his neck, and then I just connect. When I'm connecting, I want to make sure that I'm on his neck. Palm to palm, no fingers, palm to palm. And then what I want to do is bring my body weight on top of it. So basically, I keep my hand just like I would on an iron fist, on a lot of different chokes. I keep my wrists straight, like you're punching somebody. That gives you, I know, yeah, I'm wrapped up, so you would think that I've done things wrong. Yes, possibly. And this is like carpal tunnel, so it's chronic. But anyways, you want to make sure that when you're doing these types of chokes, that your hand is aligned with the forearm. Again, so I may be here, and that's it. From here, I just apply my body weight. It should be a constriction, should not be on the jaw. It should be this part of it, you know, obviously this is soft, this is hard. So I don't quite know how the guy managed to break his own arm. But that's that's probably the most extreme version of self-destruction. I've seen it like when guys, you know, when I've seen guys when they have a bad triangle and start to adjust, I've seen guys not quite break because it's not a bone, but it's tendons where they tear tendons adjusting a triangle. That's why you need to have your hand on the shin. But guys, when you're, again, unless you're in competition, if something hurts to the point where it's like, okay, that you may be doing damage to yourself, you may want to move on. Unless you're in the final of Black Belt Championship and you're pretty close to winning, or at least keeping the guy, then by all means, go for it. Second question we had is defense against K-guard. So that's a little bit more involved question. So it depends how it's being set up. So there's a couple of possibilities where the guy goes for K-guard when you're standing. Okay, in that case, usually there's two defense. So one is when before the guy wraps, and the second one is when the guy so this one, I lower my level and I try to go on at least one ankle, because now there is no K-guard. There is no K-guard. But you need to lower your level first to make sure that the entry becomes difficult and your base becomes solid, okay? So we're gonna go over a couple of the sort of early stage, middle stage, and late stage. Same thing, the other K-guard defense is when the guy sort of, you're in half guard and he starts to go over. Again, early stages, I usually try, when I'm in somebody's half guard, I try to control the head, and rather than my ankle having it outside, I have it on the inside of his legs and try to control the hips. That again is early stage defense. We're gonna go over early stage, middle stage, and late stage. You need to treat those things seriously. I think one of the biggest reasons I don't get me wrong, guys. I have a good K guard, and my K guard is the entries. You know, I worked a lot on the entries and making sure I squash any possible defenses I might show you today. At the end of the day, it becomes who's better at the execution. At the end of the day, if you know, I'm a fan of giving you all the information, you know, and you know, I had a guy ask me today, he's like, can you show me something, but don't tell others. No, I will tell the others, because guess what? The reality is whoever actually practices, drills, plays with stuff that you see and you're interested in, that's the guy who's going to become good, and that's the guy who's going to own it. That's the second step. That is up to you. Okay? And the second thing is, it's always good to know what the defenses are, so that way you can hone your offense to get around those defenses. So do we have any quick questions before we dive deeper into the K-guard defenses?
Yes, we had a question from Ensberg. We also had a lot of good mornings. MJ, Elad, Keon.
What's up, guys?
BJ,
Keon, where are you?
Ensberg had a question on the transition from top turtle position. When and how do you switch from attacking the back from the side back to attacking the front headlocks like guillotines and anacondas?
I don't switch. I'll switch once. So yeah, that's a good question, guys. By the way, if we run out of time on the K-guard question, you know, K-guard defenses, we're going to cover that in greater detail on the app. So there's my free pitch. Get the app. You get. Do they still get 3 free days?
Yes.
You can play around with it for 3 days. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. But if you like it, subscribe. Anyways, this is a very simple question. So it depends where I am. If I turtle the guy from north-south, if I can get the grips, I attack north-south. If he is blocking the grips, I will attack the back. I will roll to the back. By the same token, if I turtle the guy up and we're sort of perpendicular, if I can get the grips, I will attack from here. If he's covering anything, then I'm going to go north-south. It's usually when they defending one position, the other one is open, and vice versa. So you need to basically feel, can I get the grips? If I get the grips, I attack from where I am. You don't want to do unnecessary movement in jiu-jitsu. You always want to attack with purpose and efficiency. Anytime you move when you're not forced to, it's like this. This is one of the things that drives me crazy. Where, let me illustrate the concept. You're in my triangle. And the guy switches to armbar here. Why? He's not defending the triangle. There is no need to move. Only if he defends the triangle by posturing up, guess what? Now he's giving you the armbar. So that transition is going to be easy. He's fully extended. Only then you switch. Same thing with attacking turtle. People, I've seen that with my students. They turtle the guy up north-south, and it's, you know, the guy's not defending the grips, but they spin around to the back. The guy's rolled at the right time, and the next, it literally turned the tables. It literally turned the tables. If you do not need to move, do not move.
We had a question from BJJ Ritchie. Do you like the K-guard into leg locks? I think Gordon did this in his last win in June.
Yes, very much. I love K-guard. I've been doing K-guard for 20 years. To be honest with you, I never referred to it as K-guard. I refer to it, well, to me, it's almost I use it more not as a guard, but as a transition. So I usually go to, as I'm attacking from my open guard, if the guy is posturing up and not giving me upper body, meaning arm or neck, an entry into the leg is possible. K-guard is probably my most usual entry. Usually I will start to attack knee bar, and then depending on their reaction, I'll transition from knee bar to heel hooks. And then again, if they straighten the leg, back to knee bar. So yes, K-guard is probably one of my, it's on top of the top 7 guards. That's one of my favorites. But you need to also know how to deal with it. And again, there are ways to deal with it. Again, it's early stage, middle stage, and late stage defense. So do we have other questions?
He wants to elaborate. Pulling K guard from stand up. That's what Gordon did. Would you do that?
No. I usually do it from. I will pull split guard uregatame from standing if I'm going to pull guard.
Okay.
So maybe you need to look at Gordon's videos.
And then for the K guard, do you want maybe we only have like another minute or two, and then we'll go I guess into the defenses.
All right,
But
let's
do you
go
want
for the
them-
standing real quick because
Yeah.
the standing's probably a little bit more common. So again, let's look at so when the guy goes into K guard, this is early stage where I control both ankles. And lower your level first, control both ankles. Now put the weight on, and this is done. Now you're going to dominate. Okay, so that's early stage. A little bit later is I try to sit on his hips, control the head. That's a little bit later on. I don't bait this because if you miss your beat, you're gonna basically get caught. Now, this is the late stage. This is when the guy kind of entered really, and I could not crush his hips. When that happens, what I do is I go down as far away as possible, try to put my foot on his hip, and then I'll deal with the aftermath. If he stays down, I'm coming back up. If he comes up, I'll deal with the guard. But you know, accepting a sweep is a lot better than being submitted with a leg lock. So again, the late stage is just anytime I'm late stage into a leg lock attack, I'm on the defensive side. Is if I cannot control the hips, I cannot control the head, I will go down, but I'm also trying to turn and put my free leg somewhere on his body, be it the leg, be it his butt, to make sure that I can pull. And we're out of time, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I will see you on the app. Let's take up the K-guard. Let's take the K-guard question because I think that's a very important one. I want to kind of go a little bit deeper onto how we deal with the standing, but also how do we deal with it when you're in somebody's half guard. Those are also very common entries. All right, guys?